Konnichiwa, casuals. Catch you off guard, that one.
You reckon that like, you know how people say people have accents?
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah,
Like,
true.
you might even be fluent in a language, but you
Still got
have
that,
an accent.
I wonder what our accent sounds super shit in
Yeah.
another accent.
Yeah.
You know, like funny.
Because that's when you talk to people. Oborn was saying it recently about Nim was talking to his missus in Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
And then he asked him after, like, oh, how's he Spanish? Does he sound like Aussie?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
does he have an accent? She said, no, it's spot on. Like, because he's obviously Chilean anyway.
Chilean, yeah.
But he's been here for ages and he sounds Aussie as fuck when he talks English.
He's so Australian. That means he's pure bilingual then. I didn't realise that about him. That's
so
cool as
people are, they might be bilingual, but they sound Australian. I say it to like even the fellows at work and stuff. And it's like, when you speak Tagalog with your family back home, do they think you sound weird?
Yeah, true.
And they reckon,
they would.
They
sound
sound
different.
a bit funny. But I reckon after a few days being immersed in it, they would probably pick up the accent.
And that's the big thing. But like that's going back what we were saying in that last podcast. What if you nail it? What if you say it perfectly?
Yeah.
No accent, and then they start yelling at you, and then you're like, "Hey, how you going?" Like that shit, you know. But fucking Nim about our Uncle Paddy. Min, like. Oh,
Fuck, I've never seen someone just forget people's names so much. I'm terrible with names.
Funny. So we got this fella, Uncle Paddy, one of the funniest, hands down, one of the funniest blokes we've ever met, I reckon.
Easily.
He fucking makes me laugh.
We're going to get him on the pod soon.
Yeah, get him on here, bud. Big dugong, big turtleback. But he just fucking gets people's names wrong all the time, eh?
Doesn't matter how well he knows them.
Yeah. He can
how
know for
fucking
years.
long he's known them for.
Even you, Hayden, he called you Aiden.
Aiden, Irwin,
Min. When he said Min, hey, where's that little Min fella? I lost it, eh? A little Min light.
Oh, he's fucking off his head.
Oh,
We're keen to get him on to fucking listen
yeah.
to some of his stories.
Get the subtitles ready. Oh, fucking legend. Nah, what do we got today? We got a few little cook chats, a few little topics. We're just going to spin some
fucking
absolute
let us
cooked
know
yarns.
some of these fucking hectic.
Some of the altered states we've been in. And I was just yarning with Hooper before, and he's like, "Fuck, I haven't really done a lot of that sort of shit." So I don't fuck.
Yeah,
probably get sick of hearing my voice in this one. Sorry in advance.
Talking heaps.
Yeah, fuck. We'll start off with what's the drunkest you've ever been? Alcohol we'll start on, eh?
Drunkest I've ever been is probably in Lagos.
Portugal?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure there's a Lagos in fucking Nigeria as well.
Yeah, yep.
I haven't been there.
Fuck being drunk there, cunt.
Fuck. Holy shit, yeah.
Go missing,
we won't go there. But yeah, in Lagos one time, I don't even know what happened. But
all
the next, because I ended up fucking on this pub crawl with these people, and I dead set reckon that I got spiked.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because, like, I've been in some states, but I don't really forget shit or like get blackout drunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were on a pub crawl, and I remember the first few spots, and then I remember being at this one bar, and then I just don't remember anything. And then the next day I woke up and just had I don't know how I got back to my hotel room or my hostel.
Absolute horror.
I was fucking so lucky to get back to my hostel. I woke up with all these fucking scratches on me. Like all over my fucking body. I don't know what I was doing. Yeah, fucking running through the scrub or something.
Yeah.
But I fucking was obviously falling over or something. But turns out I went back over to my mate was living in the hostel, literally fucking across the little street, and went there, and that's who I was on the pub crawl with, all the lads who were staying there, and there was this fucking mad Scottish lad who was telling me how fucking written off I was, and he was the lad who helped me. Yeah, he helped me get back, the legend. So that was lucky, but yeah, I fucking don't remember anything. But this is why I think I got spiked too, because the next day it was weird. I didn't feel that hungover.
Yeah, right.
No, like good. I didn't feel drunk hungover.
Yeah,
I just felt a bit hazy and a bit weird.
Yep.
So
you're like,
I don't know.
Something sus happened, which could have happened.
Yeah, it was a weird state, and I think it might be a bit of a fucking thing over there too. So
I reckon I've been same thing spiked twice, and a similar sort of situation, which was like I just sort of fucking couldn't. One of them I just couldn't remember heaps. The other one was the one in Thailand was like we went to they have those full moon parties, and a couple of nights before they have all these parties leading up, and I rode my scooter to the full moon party and went down to the beach, and I ran into these Pommy fellas that I'd met previously.
Yeah.
I actually met them in Bangkok, and I remember I was drinking a bucket and I put it down for a second to like fucking shake their hands or something.
Yeah.
And then I grabbed it, kept drinking, and then I sort of all of a sudden, like half an hour later, it was like I couldn't handle the music. It was like literally all the music and everything was playing. It was almost like
Just
I was
pumping your head, like
yeah, it was just like fucking peaking me out. It was almost like I was in an altered sort of state on something else, man. Like, you know, like I was hallucinogenics or something. Like it was tripping me out. And I think I can't remember if I went and gave my wallet to one of the fellas I was with. I did something with my wallet, and then I went out to the ocean and started spewing in the ocean. And then I went for a swim. I was like, I literally went out and for a swim, and I felt good swimming. Like I was started floating there, and I was like, oh, this feels fine. This is a bit of peace. And then I was just zenned out, floating. And then obviously, I don't know if it was the tide was going out or what happened, but I fucking lifted my head up after. For me, it felt like I was floating for like 5-10 minutes, and I was like where the Hadrid Bay is or whatever. I was right at the end, like fucking almost out in the open, like maybe 200 meters out, something like that. And I was like,
got in a little rip or something.
I don't know, yeah, no idea. So I was peeking out, come fucking swimming back in, like fuck. Came back in. I think I found my mate's got my wallet and was like, right, boys, I'm fucked. I'm getting out of here and say goodbye. But then I had a 20-minute ride to where I had to stay because I was staying at the northern part of the island. And I got to my scooter, and then I remember I could barely even start it.
How'd you go riding that?
Could barely even start it. Was peeked out. I was like, fuck this.
Push the cunt over.
I stuffed my wallet under, like in me jocks, like in me gooch, under me sack, bud. Stuffed it in there, and then curled up next to my scooter, and then just out, like passed out. And then I woke up in the morning to fucking someone going through me, you know, the board shorts, the little side Velcro. Someone going through that, and I woke up and there was this little Thai fella, and he was like pretending he was gammon, pretending like, "Hey, you okay?
Waking you up.
You okay?"
Gammon waking you up.
Yeah, fucking. I just remember thinking, "What the fuck?" I could just.
Lucky you had the
but I remember
sense
most of
in
it,
that
sort
state to fucking tuck your wallet up there.
I know.
That's one thing though. Don't matter how drunk I've been. Fucking
You've always remembered your wallet. Yeah.
I have never lost my phone or my wallet.
Yeah, true. That's good. Touch fucking wood, bud. Yeah, fuck. Nah, it's not good. The other time I had I reckon I got spiked. We got into Toronto, Canada, and we'd only been in Toronto a couple of days. Like this is when we first got to Canada, and we were staying at my mate's house. Shout out to Bloomer, one of my fucking legendary Canadian mates, and his parents were both doctors. They lived in a nice area in Canada, like one of the nicest houses I've ever stayed in. It was fucking like pretty much a mansion. Yeah. Anyways, we went to the hockey, I think, and we went out drinking, and after it, they were like fucking. It was me, my Australian mate, and my mate Bloomer. And I was getting friendly with this one Sheila, and apparently Bloomer reckons he was like to her, "Are you going to take my Australian mate home or not? Because he's drunk as fuck right now. He's going to be lost."
Yeah.
And apparently she said, "Yeah.
Need
blah,
to
blah,
take
blah.
him soon, not fucking
So
wait
they
any
left, and then I was still out with this Sheila, and then all of a sudden I just remember blackout, literally blackout, just nothing. And then I woke up in the morning and I was in his basement, so I made it back to his house. But I'd like pissed the bed, like I was fucking on piss. And I got up, chuck a piss, and I had a fucking egg on my head, like a hematoma, thing on my head. And I had when I went for a shower, I noticed I had a big purple fucking bruise on my hip. And then I had a fucking, this Sheila's name, like in a napkin in my pocket. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So, and then Bloomer woke up. He had to work the next day, the mad dog. And I seen on Facebook, I had a message him, and he's like, you fucking crazy cunt. But like, he wasn't
Did
upset.
he piece things together for you?
So we ended up piecing things happen. Apparently, I don't know. Apparently, this Sheila, I ended up messaging her too. She reckons I dogged her, did a runner on her or something. So must have been her number from earlier in the night or something. I don't know if that was something else. Like it was just fucking random as. But the coppers found me. The club shut at 2 a.m. in Toronto, which is early for a city, and they found me roaming the streets in the snow. It was just like fucking cold as, and using a building to walk. Apparently, I was using a building to walk, and it was like 4 a.m. Coppers found me. I was managed to tell them who my mate was, and they somehow managed to dingo track the parents' house.
Really?
So they took him down. My mate was like,
good coppers.
Yeah, my mate was like, what do they call it over in Canada? The drunk tank or something? That they call, like we call lock up or whatever, they call it the drunk tank. They're like, lucky you didn't get chucked in the drunk tank. They were legend. They took me to the house, and they were talking to when the dad was getting ready for work. He's a doctor, and he opened the door. Apparently when he was talking to the dad, shout out to him. He was a legend, man. The dad took us under the wing, me and my Aussie mate, like just absolutely the most beautiful family. Anyway,
how'd you meet this Bloomer fella?
Off Kentucky year before.
Okay,
me and him ended up doing running the balls together.
Yeah, right,
it was funny. His mum was like, "If you're going to Europe, have fun. Just don't do that thing in Spain where they run with the bulls. And after Kentucky, I was like, I'm going to Spain to run the bulls. You keenies? Like, yeah, right. But yeah, so the coppers were fucking talking to the dad, Ian, while I was walking around in the neighbours looking in their garden or something. Just out of it, man. That's what makes me think I got drugged. Apparently I walked into the house and I looked around and like fucking opened up the fridge. I was like, yep, this is the house. Cheers, boys. Like just a menace. Like I reckon I was fucking drugged, for sure. So yeah, and that's like usually you remember little snippets here and there, but that was just
when there's fucking no recall of anything.
Yeah. Yep. So fuck.
It's fucking
and
probably more prevalent than you'd expect.
Yeah. Yep. Especially like here in even it probably even happened here in Townsville. Yeah. You know, you hear stories of that sort of shit.
Shit cunts getting around there that do that.
Fucking what a dog act. Absolute dog act. But yeah, what, you been to Amsterdam, you were saying?
Yeah.
You've had a good time there?
Yeah. I didn't really fucking chuff up too much. Just to try it, pretty much. You can't go there and say you didn't do it, I suppose.
When in Rome, eh?
Yeah.
But, the old cafes?
No, I was with these lads just in the fucking... There's this big park in the middle of the city.
Yep.
And we were there. And they were on the mushies. And I'd met these cunts fucking... Probably not even 24 hours before. They were mates of one of my mates who I met up over there. And he ended up fucking going somewhere. So he wasn't with us. So I'm left with these people that I got no idea. Fucking haven't even known them for a full day yet. And then they start getting on the mushies and I'm thinking, I don't know if I really want to trust these cunts or take what they're having. True. Which is lucky because they ended up fucking disappearing for a while. And I think I stayed with one of them and then another 2 or 3 of them just fucking skitzed out. They were fucking off it, like, having a real bad trip. And then they come back like 2-3 hours later, just...
In the horrors?
Yeah. Shit. Just fucking going off. And I sort of just...
You're like, thankful, dodging this off.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like a lot of people would probably be...
Were you just chuffed?
Peer pressured into that.
Yep.
Especially not knowing someone trying to... make friends or something, I suppose. But I'm just like, no, fuck that.
Especially,
and I'm glad I didn't.
With psychedelics and that kind of thing, they take you to another place.
Yeah, I can't.
And being around people for me, like in my experiences when I've done them, I prefer being amongst nature, camping.
Yeah, okay.
But being amongst people and like Amsterdam itself is a dirty, fucking grotty city.
Being in a
city,
big
people everywhere.
City.
It'd be a bad trip, right? That's probably why they had a bad trip. It'd just be horrors. I remember when I went to Amsterdam, back then I was young. I think I was 18 or 19, and I'd never really smoked or nothing. I'd never really, chuffed. And they had the space cakes, and I ate one of them, and then. I'd never done edibles before, and everyone else.
Don't they say edibles affect you more than smoking?
They do, and they take a lot longer to kick in too. All the people I was with, they were smoking, and I remember they were all giggling, having a good time, and I was just sitting there, just sober like normal, and I was just thinking, fuck this, but I want to get amongst. So I went and got another space cake, eating that, thinking it'd go quicker, but then it's like you get the double hit. It's just delayed.
Yeah.
And when it kicked in, man, I was just full paranoid. Like I was just.
What are you feeling? Like, what are you fucking?
Oh well, with that, it's more of like a sort of. I found it's more of like a body body high. You're more real slacked out, like you've been deflated.
Oh, okay.
But we were walking around, and I also remember I was paranoid back then. It was like my first experience doing edibles, and I was just like, everyone just looks seedy. It's a real seedy city as it is because of the red light district, obviously. And I was just looking around, and I just had the most horrible time. And then they had those urinals. I don't know if you remember the urinals that they have over there, which are weird. They're like in the middle of the sort of street thing. But you walk in there, obviously just for men. I don't know how it works, but they're only up to like this high, so everyone can see your chest and your head.
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
You're sort of like in the middle of the street pissing, but it feels like people can see you. And I just remember being paranoid, like this is fucking weird. I had a bad time, so I couldn't even imagine doing because mushrooms and that. So that's the next level. That's where you like reality almost becomes a bit distorted to the reality that you have now. You know.
And I suppose if you got anything going on in your head.
Yep.
It probably just exacerbates that, wouldn't
it? Does,
like, This is just me thinking.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
If you got any bad thoughts in your head,
any issues,
it would just fucking make that way worse. Does it focus? Is that what happens? It sort of focuses on what you're already thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
It brings in random thoughts.
Random thoughts and like different sensories too. Like certain times on. Like, if you're on mushrooms, sometimes you can hear stuff that are like fucking 20 meters away, and your ears, you can just hear them perfectly, bro. It's actually like, and you sound like fucking Tripper and that to say. That's why the people are using. That's why over the Silicon Valley, the microdosing is such a big thing. You know, like about microdosing, where like that Silicon Valley's where like the tech capital of the world, Google and all those places, and they've tested out like microdosing, where you just take a little bit of something, and it
And it
enhances,
heightens all your state, like all your
heightens your certain
senses, and then
but then
you
you
can
do
work
too much
more and stuff.
and
Yeah,
you're out of it. Like you are fully like,
it'd be a
what
fine
the
line,
fuck?
wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be 100%, bro. And it's a fine line with like, it's shit you don't want to delve in. You got to do once a blue moon. If you do it all the time, that's why it can't end up cooked down the rabbit hole, eh?
Yeah,
Because you lose touch of this reality.
yeah.
Because you do that stuff and you just think like there's a whole nother world out there, man. Yeah. There's a whole nother reality. We did the first time, my first time coming back to Australia. Like I did some trips overseas with some friends. I'll talk about the first time I tried anything actually, mushrooms.
Yeah.
So we went over to Vancouver Island and we were camping over there. And I went over there with a heap of mates from I worked on a cherry farm, right, in the summer. And then a heap of us, just picking cherries and whatnot, just a job.
Cherry Evans farm.
Daily Cherry Evans. Fuck yeah, got picked again. I rate him in Origin, bro.
Yeah, fucking no.
Can't hate on him.
Yeah.
He's good,
he's
man.
fucking El
Solid,
Capitan.
reliable. I don't know. I don't understand the hate he gets.
Nah.
Or what? Like fucking. I
Know.
reckon
Maybe because he can't play for Manly.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I worked on a cherry farm and we were heading over to Vancouver Island after it. But a heap of us came from all different places. Like a heap of us from the farm went to Vancouver Island. So there's like 15 of us, like random people from fucking Australia,
all travellers.
some Kiwis. Yeah, just heaps of people that were working on the farm, and then we're like, "What are we doing after the season finishes?" And heaps of people like, "We're going to Vancouver Island." So like fucking a crew of us went to Vancouver Island, and it's beautiful over there, man. Like it's absolutely stunning. We went to this place called Tofino. No, the first day we just camped. We all drove along and just camped on the side of the road. We couldn't find
What,
anywhere
in
to stay.
vans or something?
Just in like everything, vans, tents, and we're fucking getting drinking, having fun, whatnot. The next day we couldn't find anywhere to camp, so we stayed at a caravan park. I remember camping. I was the only one who's rolled out my swag or whatever, my fucking sleeping bag out in the open next to the fucking fire.
Yeah.
Everyone slept in tents and shit. And I woke up in the middle of the night to like fucking 6 of those raccoons cruising through our camp, bro. And it was creepy, bro. It was fucking creepy.
How big are they? Like possum size?
Yeah, possum size.
That's what
pretty
I'd
much.
expect.
Yeah, but I remember waking up, looking and just seeing like them all rattling because we left food and shit out everywhere. And they just looked like little deviant
scavengers.
cunts. Yeah, they got them fucking rings around their eyes, looking around. I was half shitting bricks.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next day, what happened is we all walked around. We all split up. We wanted to find somewhere to camp that we didn't have to pay for because that was a caravan park. And we were all tight ass like backpacker, hippie sort of cunts.
Yeah.
So me and this one other fellow called Kev, we're walking along these trails and we're trying to find like a wicked camping spot. And we seen these little trails that were going off trails. And we noticed them and we were following them. And we were finding people that were just living in the fucking forest, man. It was crazy. Like we come across...
What, they have little shacks built up?
Yeah, they'd have little... Like one, there's a bed that was built out of like 2x4 fucking and a tarp over the top.
Yeah.
Seen like... It's just obviously they're working or something. They weren't there. We've seen like dumbbells and like fucking books and peanut butter and shit there. Another one we were walking along and I seen like a towel or something hanging off. Went over it and it was a big tree, a massive redwood tree that was hollowed out. This cunt was living in a tree.
Fuck.
Literally in the bottom of the tree. Like we looked in there and there was like fucking a heap of belongings. Like this is fucking weird, man. Like this is cool, like something different, but fuck. Yeah, so we end up finding this. We'll come down and we actually followed this trail and we found literally the ideal camping spot. Like fucking epic, man. Like someone had dropped down like trees and used them as like the classic American style. You know, what you can think of, the classic, the rocks and the logs, and it had its own little private beach. And fuck, so we went and told the others. We parked up our cars, grabbed all our shit and hiked it in because I think it was like National Park, you're not meant to camp in there. So we hiked in and then one of the dudes had got mushrooms and I was like, fuck, back then I'd never tried any of that shit. And I was like, holy shit. So we all took it, literally fucking 10, 15 of us. And then we were on the beach and I just remember like we were sitting on this beach that was engulfed by cliffs and it was cold at night over there in Canada. It gets fucking cold. And we're all laying down watching the sunset over the ocean. And I remember just being like in pure bliss, but I was like, what the fuck? And we were just having laughing fits. Everyone was just laughing about nothing, man. Just fucking whacked out, bro. And then the sun went down. I remember the rocks were still hot from the sun. And I was just sitting there just thinking, I'm in another world. And they went in and I had to I tried to put a hoodie on because it was getting cold. Fuck, cunt, took me like half an hour to put it on.
Put it on back the front. Put the hood up. You can't see.
Back with man. It was a fucking fuck around, bro. It took forever. But yeah, it was amazing, bro.
How long does it last?
Oh, well, we took it and that was probably 6 to 12 hours or something. And I was just out of it. That one was fortunately my first time I had a really, really good experience because I had a full moon and it was like where rainforest meets the ocean and there was like shells and shit amongst the rainforest and that was lighting up from the full moon. So I was walking around I felt like I was on Avatar, but I was walking around like, fuck, this shit is crazy. Like it was pure bliss. It was like a pure hippie moment. I was just in love with nature.
Yeah.
But then you hear some stories, some fucked up stories. When we come back to Australia and me and my mates tried LSD for the first time. And that's similar sort of thing as mushrooms. You trip out and you fucking, you go to another place. And there was me and 3 other mates that were tripping balls. And then there was my mate's younger brother and his missus that weren't. And we were just walking the streets. We're like, fuck, let's go for a walk. We're over in Anoomba. And we're like, fuck, we'll go for a walk and it's just something to do. Because you get sort of caught up being in your own room all the time. It's an adventure.
You want to fucking go adventure.
Yeah. So we're just walking along.
Going exploring,
looking at the trees and shit, just out of our minds. Like, fuck, it's weird, sometimes you're just like, what are we doing? But we're walking along and there happened to be, we're near those sanctuary apartments over in Adalia. And we're walking along and we could see a street light. And up at the end of the street, I was like, fuck, am I tripping right now? What? I could see a group of like 10 blokes, all shirts off, walking towards us, bats in their hands, like cricket bats, fucking star pickets and shit. And I was just like at the front and I was like, fuck, bro, I am tripping balls right now. And I had my mate's ukulele. He brought the dude, my muso mate.
Yeah.
He brought it with me and I had it at the time. And they were coming towards us and I was just like to my mates, oi boys, am I tripping balls,
so
cunt?
Was it happening?
Is there a group of fucking thugs coming towards, like Green Street hooligans looking shit? And then my mate's like, holy fuck, yeah, there is.
Really?
So when you're tripping, you are in the most fucking worst state ever. You couldn't defend yourself from a bag of soap.
You reckon it'd be worse than being drunk? Like
way worse.
Trying to fight some cunt when you're like bombed up would be hard as fuck.
Yeah, like drunk could be fucking useless. Bombed up you could be more focused. Who knows? I don't know, Nick Diaz style.
Nah,
used to
it'd be hard as fuck.
It would be. But then this stuff, you are just a fucking punching bag, bro. You're
everything's like you're moving slow motion.
You're just out of it, and they're coming towards us. And
what was the go there?
So they get closer to us, and we're just like, I'm just puckering up, thinking, what do we do now? Is this really fucking happening? And they get close, and they're like, is that you, motherfuckers? Like screaming at us. I'm like, what the fuck? I remember I had this ukulele in my hand. I was like, don't stop playing this ukulele. This is my little safe space.
Yeah.
I was just strumming these chords. And then, they get close to us. And obviously once they got close, they realized, this is group fucking tripped out.
These zippy cunts who were looking for.
Yeah. So they got to us and then it turns out they were at a party and a group of fellas rocked up and bashed one of their mates and then ran off. So they were just around the corner walking the streets.
Righto.
They're like, have you seen anyone? And fucking, nah, we haven't seen anyone.
Similar thing happened to us when we'd only just started going to parties. We were probably only fucking 14 or 15. And this was out, where the Avtav is now?
Yeah, yep.
It was across the road where that little park is. We're standing there on the corner and it used to just be bushland. There was no houses.
Yeah,
the Avtav wasn't. I think the Avtav had stakes and shit up. Like they were just
That's
about
crazy
to build it.
How quick it's boomed,
Yeah, like that was just about to be built. The rest was bushland.
Yeah.
And we're standing there fucking waiting for a lift or something on the corner. And these 2 carloads of people pull up and jump out with like golf clubs and shit. Oh, come here, you cunts. And then we sort of, one of my mates fucking in one motion, he's flicked his thongs off, put them on his hands and just started fucking gapping it in one motion. You've never seen it fucking happen quicker. He ran and then we like sort of took a couple steps and we're like, went to half run. Then we're like, no, wait.
What's going on? What are they for?
So we ended up stopping and talking to them and same thing. They were looking for someone who bashed.
Yeah, same story.
Like same thing, but we're like, well, we haven't done anything here, so we'll just talk to them.
Yeah.
But fuck, it was scary. At the start, we're like, oh, should we gap it? Should we?
Yeah. Your mate didn't fuck around.
And then we ring him when it's finished 5 minutes later. And it took him like half hour to get back. That cunt must have just been running until we rung him, like just didn't stop.
Setting a world record. Fuck,
He must have just fucking kept
smart,
going.
but he would have been, if shit did go down, he'd be fucking safe. You'd all have black eyes.
Running through the fucking bushland, probably stepping on bindies because he took his thongs off.
You don't feel that shit, when you fucking... Yeah, fuck no. That's
so. What they fucking you just chatted to him.
So we chatted to him after it. We were like tripping balls after it, and we were like,
wonder what the conversation was like, and if they realised these cunts are off their heads.
I think one of my mates ended up saying to him, "All right, sorry boys, we're tripping balls." I think he just was like said something like that to him, and after it, we were like, because you get in a weird when you're tripping, you just get in a different state. It's so hard to explain if you've never done it, man. But they're like fucking, we're all like, the ukulele saved us. It was the uke. The ukulele kept the mood high.
Yeah. Fucking might have.
Yeah, it's all about the vibe, when you're tripping balls. Like, there's some fucking some hectic times, but after that we were just like, holy shit, did that like pinching ourselves? Did that really happen?
Yeah.
But fuck.
What's it best to you said just adventure, being out in nature.
I
Is it pretty fucked, like sitting around just listening to, what if you listen to music? And
music, and that's wicked. Fuck yeah, man. Like, but I personally, people take trips and that and go to full moon parties and all that sort of shit, and that's a bit full on.
Being around
so many people, which is, that's to each in their own. Some people take trips and they don't even find, I found a real spiritual, like it gets hippie, but I find a real spiritual element to it. I connect with the fucking trees and I get amongst the land.
Digging your fucking hands in the dirt.
I feel the land. I really feel connection to the land when I'm tripping. But some people, they fucking trip and they don't even, they're just about partying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I get that.
That's
why I'd rather be
most
out
people
bush
think,
camping.
they're like, you fucking take whatever.
Yeah.
To go to a party or go to a festival or something.
Party up, yeah. I'd rather
there to go hiking and fucking being amongst nature, I suppose. It would probably be a cooler experience.
It is. Camping's the fuck. Except it can be, it can get pretty fucked camping too. Like, cause we had one time we went out to Kingala and we were camping there and my mate fucking, he pulled out a smorgasbord. We had like mushrooms chopped up and we ate them on salt and vinegar chips, fucking randomly. Ate them and then we were drinking as well. And we had a mixed board, like a fucking, little cheese board of certain things and the fucking buffet. And then we went for, I got a Zook, like a Suzuki Sierra, a little soft top rig. And we're fucking, well, let's go for a night mish. So we all jump in that and we're fucking driving around.
Driving on the beach.
We're driving the backtracks because we were actually camping in the backtracks that night. And we popped out on the beach and I think I had a battery issue at the time. Or an electric issue at the time, and literally as soon as we pulled up out at the beach, the car died. But we hopped out. We didn't even give a fuck about the car. We just felt the wind of the beach, and we're all off our heads. We're like, "This is awesome! Fuck yeah!" And we're just walking around on the beach, like, "Fuck it, how cool is this?" Like having the time of our life. Like, let's go for another mission. We get back to the car. We're like, "Fuck, that's right, this thing died."
I forgot about it.
So then my mate, like, they're all tradies. My mate's is a fitter, so we got the bonnet up, and we're fucking looking at the battery out of our mind, but
just tapping on it, like
just bashing with a hammer, like hot rod. Just bashing that kind of a hammer, like man, a hot rod. No, and then we end up getting it going. It was just like fucking terminal come or something simple, like. And then my mate was driving. I was like, "Yeah, you have a drive," because it's the funnest car ever to drive. So it can't just share it around. And then there's like a mate. There's four of us, two mates in the front, and me and my mate standing up in the back.
Yeah.
Because it's a soft top. It's got no back area, and we're just driving around. But we lost our camp. We were tripping balls. I'm like, "Where are we camped?" So we're driving these tracks for like 15, 20 minutes. Like, where are we? But we're fucking in a loop. We've been doing. And then in the back, when I was in the back of the, like standing up, I was like getting real shitty because I feel like when I was in the back, I could see exactly where we needed to go. And I was like, "Nah, Noddy." It's like my mate Noddy. "Nah, hop out, bud. Give me a fucking drive. I know exactly where to go." So I was getting real shitty. He hops out in the back and I hopped in the seat.
You got lost too?
As soon as I hopped in the steering wheel, it was like fucking Men in Black, bud. I didn't know where to go.
The neuralizer got you?
Because in the back I was like, "Yep, we gotta go this way, this way." As soon as I hopped in the driver's seat, I was like, "Fucking what? Which way?" And we were at there's like T intersection in the tracks, and you could go left or right. And straight was just bush.
Yeah.
No tracks.
You chose to go straight?
So for some reason I just went straight through all this bush. We didn't realise that there was someone camped behind all that bush. Oh. So we fucking... And then next minute we just realised we're just driving through chonky apple trees and shit. And we're like, "What the fuck are we doing?" And it was like midnight. And then I nearly get bogged and we sort of fucking stop. And then we hear a dog barking, like literally right there. And we're like, "Oh, fuck, there's a camp right there." And then we were just like a bit of a reality check of what state we're in to, like, if you think about other people, and it's a bit of a reality check. Holy shit, we're in the middle of the bushes at night, fucking driving around. And then they yelled out, they're like, "Hello." We're like, "Hello." They're like, "Have you lost your boat?"
What? They were tripping too, probably.
Must have been. They're like, "Have you lost the boat?" And we're like, "No, thanks."
Good, thanks.
Yeah. And then on my mate noticed I was in high.
Thanks.
Because I was nearly getting bogged there too, which is rare for the Zook. And my mate noticed that I was in high 4. We dropped it in low 4, and then fucking we drove it out. We're driving it, and then we got back to the camp, and we got home. We're like, "Fuck, phew, mission success."
I wonder what they were fucking talking
the
about.
Next day, we were laughing hard. We just kept on replaying. "Hey, have you lost your boat?" Yeah, we don't know if they seen a boat because they were camped right on the river, that little river that goes behind the beach. Is it Salmon? Cocoa Creek? No, Salmon. I think it is. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, they were camped right on that, and fucking maybe they seen a boat floating down when they just heard a 4-wheel drive riding through the bushes. Oh fuck, dude! You got any cooked camping yarns? Absolutely fucked up.
Nah, not really. I fucking haven't been camping. I reckon in over 10 years since I've been camping, man.
Fair enough. It's a lot harder now when you're older and you got kids and that. I love it, eh? I love it. Yeah.
I don't think I got any.
Yeah, true, eh?
Because when I was camping, it was all when I was fucking young, teenager, and I wasn't really.
The old camp back in the Commodore Ute.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I don't think I've even fucking gone camping and got on the piss or.
Really? Fuck.
Because I was so young,
up.
you know.
Yeah,
it was literally I only camped growing up. And
Yeah.
Maybe just out of school, but.
Yep. Fuck, we grew up doing it, eh? Fuck, all the time.
Oh, you would have out at charters.
Yeah, we took it for granted, but like when I moved to towns, I started doing a lot of beach camping and that, and then went out camping in charters a couple of years ago. I was like, fuck, it's no salt out there, no flies.
Yeah, what do you reckon's better? Like camping?
Fishing's better up here.
What do you reckon, camping on the beach, camping, say, in the rainforest, or camping out in the desert, sort of?
I like the desert because I like motorbike riding, and there's like good riding out there, you know. Yeah. But then the bit fishing, it's fucking good fishing
beach
up here.
Fishing and stuff.
Yeah, we had another time we went fucking fishing at the camping at Insulator Creek or somewhere there.
Fucking mozzies get you or what?
Oh, they're always bad. Them cunts everywhere. But we were another fucking zook yarn, another zook tripping yarn. Cunts listen and think I'm a tripper snipper. Oh, I am.
Surprised the fucking zook's still going.
Yeah, but we were fishing there, like camped at this little creek. And me and my mate we had the fucking roof off the zook, and we had the seats reclined, and we were just, I don't know if maybe we were tripping or we were bombed up somewhere looking at the stars. Yeah, we were tripping for sure. We were looking at the stars, like fuck, listening to music, like fuck yeah, and we could hear like in a good space. We could hear a bit of commotion behind us. The boys were fishing. Like, fuck, and what's going on here? And we ran over. My mate called a big mangrove jack, and it was just like from one extra. We were like fucking kicking back, looking at the stars. All of a sudden,
that adrenaline
all
rush.
of a sudden, we're adrenaline rush. My mate's like, bleed it out, stabbing the fucking fish. There's blood squirting everywhere.
The cook cunt with you.
Yeah. Me and him are both like, fucking, what just happened, bud? Shit just changed real quick. Yeah, fuck.
What about you done ayahuasca, eh?
Yeah, ayahuasca was the fucking.
I was talking about fucking ayahuasca with someone at work like last week.
Oh, really? They done it too?
No, they knew someone had done it, but they were just talking about it. And yeah, fucking it sounds.
It's probably the most
crazy.
Yeah, it's
actually no, they had done it. It was Min's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Min's brother.
Well, he comes from South America. It's a big cultural thing over there. It is like you say it here in Australia, and it's people look at you like you're a fucking batshit crazy tripper, but it's part of it's a cultural thing over there.
What do you call it? It's called
peyote.
No, something. No, they done like I guess the entry level of it.
Yeah, okay.
He done something like that.
Yep.
He didn't do the full.
Yeah,
thing,
okay.
But apparently because they're South American. One of his uncles or something does like the whole ritual.
He's a shaman.
He makes it all up.
Yeah,
all that sort of
it's
shit.
a big thing over there.
I think is there different levels or some shit like that.
The proper ayahuasca ceremony. I never actually did the proper ayahuasca ceremony. You meant to do it like 4 times over 5 days or some shit. Yeah. Where I just did it one off. I hiked into the Amazon with this shaman fella and just did it one off, which was life changing. Which is I couldn't even bedazzle doing it 4 times in 5 days, man. That is great.
What, doing it once changed your whole view on shit?
Doing it once was probably one of the most, probably up until a couple of months ago was probably the most, until my missus gave birth, was probably the most significant point in my whole life.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like you cannot explain it without sound, to someone who hasn't done it without sounding like a full-blown fucking tripper. That's all I love. Fucking I did it before Joe Rogan, before I even heard about it off Joe Rogan. I heard about it from the backpacker grapevine.
Yeah.
And that's why I seeked it out. And then obviously Joe Rogan was preaching DMT and how, have you tried DMT?
Yeah.
But have you smoked DMT?
Ask every single time.
But he actually preaches like actually the beneficiaries of it, and it's just I don't know, it's so hectic. Like over there, it's a cultural thing. I've become friends with this Colombian chick, and she was like she'd do it with her mum and her family.
Fuck.
Where it's just like that's roots to the
what is it only for like say a significant event comes up, or they're just doing it every fucking weekend?
Nah, you wouldn't do it more than once every 10 years, I reckon. Yeah, right. I'd only do it once. Like even
don't people do it to like kick addictions and like
they do? Well, they used it in
all sorts of shit.
Exactly in Brazil, they used it ayahuasca as a rehabilitation for people coming off heroin, and it was instant. Like here in Australia, people when they come off heroin, they put them on methadones and all that. People would do ayahuasca, and the next day they didn't have an attachment to that.
Because what do they reckon? You could fucking probably say, don't you? You're like looking at yourself from the outside, and you just get this fucking image of yourself. Really I suppose, like say if you're a drug fucked fucking heroin addict or something, you're looking at yourself and probably just get this realization, like
pull your head in.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
is that sort of
and
what
it kind of reminds
you
do a little bit, and it's sort of like the episode of The Simpsons where Homer tries the hot chili competition. He goes out and meets that dog in the desert and shit, and he's just tripping balls, and it takes him on a journey. It is really, really hard to explain it, but yeah, my experience was fucking surreal, and you can't even like. So I met this. I did a tour over there in through, like, it was in Bolivia where I did it, and it's part of the Amazon there. And we did like a tour where you go through 3 or 4 days and you stay in the jungle and you check out sloths and anacondas and all the caimans, all the big gators and all that sort of shit. The pink river dolphins, which is fucking pretty cool. Yeah,
true.
you go fish. It's funny. You fucking on this tour and you go swimming with the pink river dolphins. Like, anyone hop in and swim with the pink river dolphins? And I was the only cunt who hopped in. I was like, yeah, no other cunt hopped in.
What's it, just up a creek?
Then I was just in a river. Yeah. Then I was shitting bricks. Like, I thought every cunt was going to get in. And they come up and they push at you and nibble you and that. And then you hop and they're like, we're going to go piranha fishing next. Then you hop in the boat, go 100 meters up the stream. Then you're fishing for piranhas.
But they don't swim upstream. It's right. Piranhas as hectic as they think or what? Because I used to think like
when you're a kid,
if you get in the water, you're going to be a skeleton.
They're going to bone you. You look up the cartoon. Sorry.
So how long were you on this?
So I did this tour, and then I asked my tour guide. I said, "Is there anywhere I can do ayahuasca? Because I'm in the Amazon. I wanted to seek that out." And he's like, "Yep. I'll get in contact with someone." So I finished that tour, and then he got me this contact. And old mate was a shaman, and he said, "Literally, just pack your bags when you camp overnight. We're going to hike in there." He said, bring your water. He said, bring toilet paper. Because have you heard about ayahuasca? And,
no.
Oh, okay. So
make your gunna.
Yeah, make your gunna and chunda.
True.
Big gunna and big spew.
Fuck.
Yeah. So apparently it clears you or whatever, you know? It's like a refresh. So
cleanse you of all your badness.
Yeah, bud. Reformat the hard drive.
Like on fucking the Green Mile area, he spews out all that fucking black bad shit.
True, yeah. Well, that's how you go. So we hiked all day. And my Spanish was pretty fucking ordinary, like pretty basic. I could talk, I could organise food and all that shit, buses, but actual communication was pretty difficult. It was pretty minimal. So it was a bit different, as it was just me and this one other fella walking into the Amazon. I was like, this is a fucking weird scenario.
Like not even with a group or
just me and this one cunt. I'm like, this is fuck. This could be a recipe for disaster. Yeah. We get there and he had this little hut. It was like a full day, 6-hour hike or something. He had this little hut built up in the mountains, in the jungle. And he sets everything up first. He set up his fucking the mozzie net, and then he starts burning this incense. And then when we were walking in, he just had fucking joggers on, and I thought, "Fuck, this don't look real like traditional." We got there, he dressed up all traditional shit, had these necklace with all these alligator bones and shit on it. It looked cool, man. I was just like, "This is like something off fucking Jumanji or some shit, like something off a
Welcome
movie."
to the jungle.
Yeah, bro, it's cool. And then he fucking was doing all these chants, and then he said, "Drink this cup." And this was probably about sundown, dusk or whatever. I drank this cup, and then it's a slow effect with a lot of those psychedelics. They never hit really straight on, unless you're smoking DMT, that hits straight away. But a lot of these, you sort of ease into it over like half hour,
slow
burn. Yeah. So we're just chilling there, the sun's going down, and then all of a sudden I can just hear the fucking insects, man. I could hear so many of them, bro. The grasshoppers, every little thing. That's the first thing I noticed.
Like you said before, like your
super fine
senses are just fucking.
And I come so fine tuned to all these insects. I was like, when you hear crickets when you walk hike and it's just like this fucking noisy. It's white noise, and you're like, shut up. In this state, I was like, these cunts are like a symphony right now. They're having a big jam sesh. Like they're all interacting, and I could hear it all, and I was amongst it.
Did it sound like they were fucking in unison? And
literally, it was like full connection where we just hear like a screech and like fucking like you got a rock in your brakes or something. But in that state of mind, I was like, holy shit, this is phenomenal. And then I actually went out when you take psychedelics like psilocybin, which is fucking mushrooms and that, you're still with it. You're still within this reality, but reality is a bit distorted. This one, you actually it's like you go to dream world. You crash out, like you go to sleep, and you go into
in an actual dream, into
another realm or whatever the fuck you want to talk about. It's hard to, you go into a different plateau.
Yeah.
So I was in this other place, man, where it was just, it's hard to harp on about it without fucking sounding batshit crazy. But it was like all sacred, like all, when you look through a kaleidoscope when you're a kid, it was like crazy shit like that, colors and everything different. And I remember thinking,
and what are you just walking around in these colors, or
you're just in another, you're not walking around, you're just in your eyes, like you're not even, you know what I mean, like you're not there as a person walking around. It's like you're in a dream. When how you are in a dream, when you just fucking in another place, and that's how it was pretty much. And I remember just like thought like I fucking met God at the time. I was like, this is the most significant point in my life. And like you were saying, it's like you have these reflections of shit that you should have done in the past.
Yeah, that's what I've heard of.
Yeah, it's like some of your childhood stuff comes up. Like I come from a broken family, you know what I mean? Some of that childhood shit come up, and it's like, it's pretty crazy. And I remember so he told me you got to take toilet paper because you spew and you shit. That's what apparently it does. Yeah. It's like a purge. And I remember I had like a real, like in this other world, and you're like, fuck, this is crazy, man. It was pretty confronting. And then all of a sudden it was all just pure bliss. I was just like fucking having the best. It was like I was in a really, really good dream, pretty much. A really, really good dream. And then all of a sudden it just started going downhill and everything just started to stop and everything started going everything got dark. And it was almost like I was going into a real, real bad trip. Yeah. Like a super bad trip. And it was just like hell, like I was going into hell. And then I actually come to it. I come back to real life and I woke up and it was nighttime. It was in the Amazon. And
so you'd just been sitting down.
I've been pretty much sleeping, laying in like sort of laying down in a little mosquito net within a hut within the jungle. And there's nothing nearby us at all. There's one stage where I did snap back to reality because something got thrown into the hut. Literally like a monkey or something threw something into the hut. And I woke up and I was like, and then the shaman did a really good job. He I think he sort of he makes you feel like you can dive into the trip a bit more and protects you from the reality. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like he grabbed the nut and threw it out and said, it's okay. You know, like it's to be in. And then I started tripping again, obviously. But what happened is I came to after when it was going real dark and he literally all he did is pointed a torch into the bushes and handed out a paper the toilet roll. And that's what happened. My guts were churning, but so I just fucking come out of the mosquito net, grab that toilet roll, and just run into the bushes. He killed the lights, whatever, out of respect. And the next minute, I'm just fucking pants down, doing a big squid, doing a big shit, bro, in the bushes.
Trip over.
And then it was still pretty full on because then I was like, oh, because you're in reality and you're a bit distorted from. You're not like it's not like you wake up and you're sober again. Yeah. And then I look up. Foggy. I needed to spew real bad, and I went to lean on a tree, and the cunt had big spikes like this. Oh. And I leant on it, didn't impale myself or anything, but then I realised, fuck, I'm in the Amazon with this one cunt I met today, fucking shitting and spewing, and just went to another realm. Like, what am I doing with my life? Fuck. But then I go back to him, he gives you another cup, and then I went and crashed back out and just had the best, it's hard to explain. It's.
So did you have another trip that second time?
Then I went back into the trip, went back into the trip.
Did you start at that dark place?
No, pure bliss from then on, pure bliss. It was like a weight off my shoulders, literally. It was like I was a fucking, you seen the light. I seen the light, but no, you know what I mean? It's like, it's literally like I got a whole new perspective in life. And the thing is, the next day when you wake up, it's still there with you. Yeah. From that point onwards.
So how so though? Like what do you think that came from? Or like what was going on in your life, or what did you see then that made you move on, or you know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like it's hard to put into perspective, but it's almost like I'd been focusing. It's hard to talk with an analogy.
Did it make you focus on the bad and then you move on from that because you've acknowledged it?
I feel like before I was really narrow visioned. I was looking at life through a set of binoculars. Yeah. Really narrow visioned. I could only see one. I could only feel my own perspective. Yeah, I couldn't put myself in other people's shoes as much. Yeah. And then out of that fucking ayahuasca trip, it's like I become a lot more empathetic and had a lot more compassion for other people. It's like I removed binoculars from front of my face and then I could see the full picture.
Like you had blinders on. Yeah, like a fucking horse running with blinders on. Pretty much. Then you open it up.
And it's like I could see clearly now. Like, you know,
so now it wasn't muddy water, it was clear. You take on what other people may feel and how they view things and stuff like that.
Exactly.
A bit more now.
Definitely, 100%. That's what what it did. It's like it really opened up my. But in saying that, it's not like I'm saying it right now. It's like you fucking big note in my crack. Like I got this higher sense of purpose now. Yeah. But it wasn't. It was just that one time, and that was over 10 years ago. I think it'd be good to do it once every 10 years, just to It's kind of like it's almost like a grounding effect. Yeah, grounds you out a bit. You know, like fucking.
Wonder if it is. Well, it wouldn't be, but similar for everyone, or how it'd be interesting to hear other people's experiences and what they got out of it, or talk to some kind who's done the whole 4 sessions?
4 days. I met these Canadian boys when I was later on that trip, and they went specifically for their fucking trip, for that trip, nothing else. They flew into Bolivia and did 4-day. Well, they might have did in Peru. Can't remember. They did 4 days over 5 days, and they were 4 mates. And it's funny because they're Canadian, jocks, big tank boots, and they were going there for that. They were just really open-minded sort of people, and they were talking about it. I was like, that is crazy. But we had very similar things, and a lot of the similar things. You feel like you meet. They call them entities or something. You meet. I don't know. It's weird. You meet these other living things. I thought it was God at the time, but it probably wasn't. It was probably just something.
Could have been.
Who knows, man? But at the end of the day, what I took out of it is one: this isn't the only reality we are in right now. I still firmly believe that there's another reality out there, like another dimension or another something. Not that I can connect to it, not that I go there, not that I'm stuck down the rabbit hole, and but it made me open me up that there's multiple layers, and that it's just fucking. It's like I got rid of the blinders a bit too, Yeah. So it's fucked. Yeah. It's fucked to talk about it, and it's hard to actually open up about it, especially here in North Queensland. Especially, I'm pretty bogan myself, man. Yeah. You come back and people it
would be hard to fucking tell stories like that and people not look at you like either like you're just a full cooked fucking mush brain, just like fucking, or like you say, you're big noting yourself and now you're better than everyone because you fucking,
I'm a spiritual warrior.
You got your eyes open.
Exactly.
Or whatever, you know?
Exactly, man. No, so
it'd be one
doesn't
of
make
the
me
other,
better than anyone.
Yeah. But if you could do that and now you feel different and more fucking, whether it's accepting of people or take on board how they may feel, like you said, empathetic and stuff, then that's a good experience, I suppose.
And I think there probably are people who have had a lot of bad experiences too. You know, it's not good, like anything.
You might look up, have to look up fucking
Joe,
kind of had bad.
Joe Rogan was preaching about it, and the way he talks about it, like I probably preach it. I'm not really the best talker. He like probably sounds shit as, but when the way he spoke about it, I was like, man, that is fucking amazing. Like that
was his similar to
very similar to me, and him just talking the big part about how you're like, this isn't the only reality. There's a whole nother reality out there, and I was like, man, that is, and the fact that he's such a level-headed and like some of the like Graham Hancock and those, they're absolute experts in their field. They're not just crackheads living off the street talking about fucking shit and spewing in the Amazon. You know,
people often relate them sort of experiences or fucking these stories to, like you say, just fucking
druggos,
just
craggies.
Cunts who,
that's right.
they're off their head.
I told my mum about it when I got back from overseas because like my mum's done heaps of traveling. She's the one who inspired me to do a lot of sort of stuff, and she was like, oh, that's unreal. Yeah, that's very out there. And then she rang me up however long later. And was like, oh, that thing you're talking about's on 60 Minutes, and 60 Minutes was demonizing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're saying that, which is
that's the fucking media though.
Yeah, there always is. You know,
Western media, they don't want a lot of that shit to happen.
Well, especially if it's like you look in Brazil where it's instant rehabilitation.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is what spun me about it is ayahuasca is a tree root and a leaf from another plant that the Amazonians have discovered. And there's out of say 50,000 different species of plants, they've discovered you get these two together, you boil them up, you brew them, and it takes you to another realm which is above this. Well,
like
I don't know whether it's above or below, but it's a different reality.
It's like all the bush medicine and all sorts of fucking stuff that comes from the ground that doesn't get utilized because it's not with the Western
big pharma
views and stuff.
Exactly.
You know? All right, I just want to ask you something. For 10 points, spell ayahuasca.
AYA.
Look it up first.
HUASCA.
No, look it up.
Is that good? Remember that? AYA HUASCA. Oh, fuck.
Because I remember the first time that I seen it spelt, like I'd heard people talk about it, and then I looked up.
AYA HUASCA. Educated fella.
What?
AYA is what I meant to say. Did I say UA?
AYAHUASCA. Yeah, got him.
But I think I said U instead of Y.
Yeah.
Which I meant that.
No, I remember the first time I seen it spelled.
Ayahuasca?
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Aya. But you know, and a lot of indigenous cultures have things like that are similar. To, like the indigenous won't walk about. I feel it's sort of similar thing. You know, you go walk about, you go bush, find yourself.
Just being, like you said, being in nature, and even here, I'm lucky here where I live here now, as opposed to where I used to live. There's way more stars here.
Oh, really?
And like every night when we get home, like, you know, it's good now because it's getting darker earlier. Like 6:30, you look up. And you fucking see the stars, and it just like puts you in this different
medicine,
different mindset, and you just, I don't know.
It's
like
good.
Like you say, it's hard talking about a lot of this shit without sounding like a bit of a fucking
and
a wanker.
I noticed it at first coming back, because especially when I came back, and I worked in the doing shutdowns in the mines with the toughest fucking Aussie bogan narrow-minded people.
Yeah, a lot of close-minded.
I got to it where I was like, I'm comfortable for who I am, but I don't give a fuck. You know, it's you can judge me, bud, but until you try it. And if you go and try it, then maybe things will be different.
Yeah.
But my mate actually, he was inspired, but he when he went in Central over in South America, he did the similar thing. He said that when he got there, it had been really tourism had capitalized on it.
Oh, okay.
Become really sort of. Pardon me. And he said it was amazing too. Obviously. Yeah. Same sort of thing, which is good because now he's probably one of my best mates, and I have someone that I can relate to who's done it as well.
Yeah.
And he's a everyday Aussie bloke too, you know, like it's not like he's a fucking tripper.
Yeah.
Tripper snipper. But yeah, I've got fucking lot of little random cook stories like that, eh? Like,
what other states you been in?
The cocaine thing in Colombia was a bit full on. But that's obviously that's not spiritual in the slightest. There's no spirituality there, but
that's just fucking good time, eh?
But yeah, I sailed into Colombia from Panama, and when we come into Colombia, we met this fella, and he was an American bloke telling us how he went on this cocaine tour. And we're like, oh, well, I was spun out, but I was like, holy fuck, cocaine tour. He's like, yeah, they take you to a plantation, you get to see it get made from scratch and all this shit. And
like from the cocoa beans and everything.
Yeah, from the cocoa plant, and everything. We're like, me and my mate were like, fuck, that sounds awesome, bro. We're like, give us the details. So he sent us an email with all the details of where you go. And then a couple of weeks later, we were like, fuck, let's go to this little town you got to go to up in the mountains. So me and my mate, this American fella, we fucking spent all day traveling in the back of this truck. Literally, the only way we get to this village was traveling. I don't know how the fuck. Wasn't even a bus, wasn't a taxi, nothing. We're in the back of a truck, literally sitting in the back of a truck. And we cruise all. It was fucking cool, but you're going through these mountains. We get in this little town at night time. It's the town you're meant to go to. And it was like 9 o'clock at night or something. Like,
Pablo Escobar greets you.
Yeah.
Griselda Blanco.
Hey, gringo. Yeah. And we get into this little town and we're like, right, we get into a hostel, and we knew we had to find this bloke. We had to find this bloke and ask him for a tour de special, a special tour. And we're like, fuck, what was it? We're like, where do we have to go? We couldn't remember the place. And it was so late. We're like, let's just check in to wherever we can. We'll get on the Wi-Fi.
Look for him tomorrow.
All we could remember is his name was Humberto. Fucking classic, eh? Old Humberto. So we're checking in. It was like 9 o'clock at night. And then we're like to old mate, hey, what's the Wi-Fi password? Like asking the Wi-Fi password. And he's like, Humberto, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, me and my mate look at each other like, fuck, you reckon that's him?
That was...
Like, what's the chances? Like, fucking Humberto, is that a common name over here? That's got to be him. And I was like, ask him. He's like, no, you ask him. He's like, no, you. I'm like, you got better Spanish. And he's like, disculpe, like, excuse me. He's like, tienes tour de especial? Like, do you have the special tour? Like, just went out on a limb.
Yeah.
And this cunt, he just fucking looks over. And he's like, fuck, it sort of looks.
Is this down. Like sort of a half code thing?
Yeah,
like you only ask for this if you know.
Yeah, it was like a real it wasn't public. Like he wasn't advertising it. And he like looked us up and down, and he's like, well, straight away I was shitting bricks. He's like, see, yeah. So he's like, he talked to us mañana the next day about it, and he fucking next day he draws us a map that night, and he's like, we meet on this corner at 11 o'clock. We meet there, and you pick us up, and we'll pick you up. Fuck, righto. So
map on a little napkin or something. I'm picturing something real dodgy. So in fucking crayon.
We go, yeah, true. So we rock up at this corner and we're waiting there. It's just before lunch, and then a motorbike pulls up, and it's him, and he's like, hop on. But there's two of us, and we're like just sort of a bit startled. But then a dude comes from the opposite direction. It must have been the fact that they didn't pull up together.
Yeah.
And Todd hops on with one, and then I hop on the other guy, and then they ride off in opposite directions. So it's just, I guess they were trying to keep it so hush.
Oh yeah,
it was fucking weird. But then we link back up, and we're riding out of town. They pull up out of town, then they put pillowcases over our head.
Real?
Yeah, but and then I was just hanging on to this gun, couldn't see where I was going, just thinking, banged up abroad, sort of.
Puts a fucking gag in your mouth.
Yeah, I was like,
that was later on.
Yours, cunt.
True. Fuck, I would have been like, oh no, I don't really want to do this tour anymore.
That was
just your pillowcase.
That's a bit of a reality check. I was just hanging on, couldn't see shit where we're going. I was just thinking, fuck, what am I getting myself into, man? This is fucked. And then we rock up at this place, but it was a bit weird. Like, there's all these families and shit there. And we walked through the family. Like, it was probably not long, 20 minutes out of town or something. We walked through these families, and they had little huts or little units or whatever you'd call them. We walked through them. We went down to the back, and then he had a big empty unit. And it wasn't a full massive plantation. It was like he had gotten a heap of shit together for his little bit and to make money off it.
Yeah.
So he got it, and then he showed us how everything was made from scratch, man. And the shit that goes into it, bro, is pretty like fucking limes, diesel, all this shit that goes into it. You're like, holy fuck. And then it came out. Or kerosene or something it was. Something fucked up, man. Yeah. And then it come out, and I thought it was in the last... like the final form, and I was looking at it thinking, that's trash, bro. Like, that is not, like, it looked glunky. It didn't look white. It looked like more of a beige color. I thought it was the final, and I was thinking, fuck this shit. This is dodgy as. But then he put it under like a low heat, like a light bulb, and it just fluffed out into pure white powder. And I was like, holy shit. Then he racked up 2 big lines for us. Me and my American mate. My American mate had never really done much, and I'd only done it traveling. Not here and there. It wasn't big in Australia. Back then, it wasn't big in Australia. Australia now, it's fucking rampant, bro. It's bad.
Is it? Yeah.
Everyone fucking baggy. Every cunt does. And it's shit overpriced. It's just fucking trash. But this is like the purest of the pure. And we did a big line, and then he put a heap in this test tube for us. Like it was like the leftover stuff was like a tube. He said like you can take it. I think we paid him $50 or something, and we got heaps out of it, man. And then we're fucking
That's like going to the fucking beer brewery or
they give
fucking
you a
the
little
whiskey
takeaway.
factory.
Get a
Get a taste tester and then a takeaway.
Well, he gave us these 2 big fat lines, and then he gives us this tube, and I gave it to my mate, and then my mate's like, oh, like well, by that time it kicked in quick because it doesn't take long for that shit. And we'll beam, and my mate's like, oh, you got tight jocks. I'm like, fucking. So I just put it in my jocks, and then the same thing. We hop on the motorbike, put the pillowcase over our heads. They ride us back into town, fucking take the pillowcases, drop us off where we were, and we walk back to the hostel. By that time, me and my mate were beaming, bro. And we're in this little village. We would have stood out like fucking dog walls.
So what, just fucking
cruising
kick on
along
from there?
Well, that was the plan. We went and got beers or something. We went to the fucking back to our hostel, and I fucking pulled my pants down and fallen out of my jocks. Old skinny chicken legs.
Fuck.
I could not find it anywhere, bro. So, and the worst part was when they dropped us off, or when they come into town, took the pillowcases off, they gave us this real heated fucking. I'm glad I couldn't understand the best
Like,
Spanish.
don't tell
Yeah.
any
Like we will
cunt
kill you
about
and
what
shit
you've
like
done
that.
and
Well,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially mainly not from Humberto, but his mate, big staunch cunt,
Yeah.
the enforcer or whatever. And then we couldn't find it. And we're like, fuck, we dropped it on the street somewhere. Then we thought we were going to reveal it. And we were just peeking, getting paranoid. We went and bought beers and sat in there. A lot of those villages in Latin America have little town squares.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting there chewing each other's ears off, like, oh, what if we dropped it there? Oh, we might have dropped it there. Like, it's probably, we would have stood out like dog. But we had sunnies on, big thick sunnies on, just chewing each other's ears off. And then we got real paranoid. We're like, fuck this. He's gonna find the operation. And we ended up booking a bus out of there. We booked a bus out of there that afternoon. We're like, let's fucking bail.
But you were meant to stay, but just
paranoid. I think we were planning on leaving soon anyway. The next morning, got a bus to the fuck out of there. We were just full paranoid.
What's that fucking that yarn he's nearly got done crossing the border?
Oh, that's another fucking drug story. That was with just a bit of hooter. So that was basically when we were traveling through Central South America. Me and my mates were having a little truff here and there, and we'd just buy a bit of hooter off some of the locals. A lot of it was just shitty bush. Like it's just shit stuff that's not that good, you know. You kind of just
do it for a bit of a fucking social thing.
We're just having beers and that,
chilling.
smoking bungers, and just wasn't that strong kind of thing. And we got into Honduras, I think it was, and we got some stuff that was pretty decent. And me and were like, fuck yeah. And what we'd been doing before that is the leftover shit we had, because over there it's so cheap, we'd just give it off to someone before we go over the border. And we noticed that all the borders we'd been over, we'd never been checked. Like there was just crazy going through Central. A lot of those, it's like you're going through states. Some of them. Okay. And we basically were on this bus and we're going from Honduras into Nicaragua, I believe. I think it was. Yeah, or Guatemala. No, it's Nicaragua. And I fucking just stuffed it in my sleeping bag. I was like to my mate, fuck that, bro. This shit's pretty good. Nothing's happened yet. I'll just stuff it in my sleeping bag.
No checkpoints yet?
Yeah, it should be right. So I stuff it in my sleeping bag, and then we get to the checkpoint, like where we're going over the border. We're on a big coach, like one of them big buses, and our bags are all downstairs, and then the bus pulls up and everyone starts hopping off the bus and collecting their bags from underneath, and then they're walking off through the customs. And I was like, fuck, most of the time it was pretty cruisy going through. I'm like, oh, here we go. So we grab our bags, and we're kind of out in the open. I was too late to stash it anyway, to reach in and stash it. And we're all lining up.
As
get
just
your pass.
rustling through and
fucking
hiding shit.
I was honestly probably one of the scariest I've ever been in my life. Like I was full stressed out just thinking of banged up abroad. Like what the fuck's going to happen here? You know,
life in fucking jail over there, or death sentence or something. What is it?
It is something like that. Yeah, I think so. I didn't know that at the time, but so we line it up and they're going through the X-ray machine, and I can see they're lining up to go into a room, and I'm sort of fucking at the back of the line sort of thing, and I'm sort of looking through it. And then I see that there's an X-ray machine. They're putting it into like kind of like at work.
Yeah.
Putting a little fucking
like at the airport. Put it through the X-ray machine.
At the airport, and they put it through the belt. Put it on the belt, and it's going through. And I'm like, fuck, here we go. And it was probably about 40 people on the bus, and most of them were locals. And there was probably only about 5 gringos, like foreigners, travelers. And most of us were towards the back. And my fucking American mate got to him. He was in front of me, and I could see that there was an X-ray machine. They were checking shit. I wasn't too sure if it had come up, if you could tell, if it was surrounded, but I was just like sweating, heat for fucking flush all over my body. It's like when you nearly crash a motorbike and you get that heat weight, like that fucking instant, like, oh, can't. And then, my mate in front of me, the Yankee fella, got waved through. They're just like, straight through. He didn't have to walk. He didn't have to put his bag on the machine. He could just walk straight through, because they were doing that to some people. And then me waved me straight through. Fuck. But then we looked at it. They checked all the locals. The foreigners, they just waved us through. Like
you'd think it'd be the opposite.
Oh no, 100%. That's exactly what we thought. We're like, fuck. But after that, as soon as I come out the other side, I was just like, fucking whole a whole bunch of weight off my shoulders, man. I was thinking,
fuck, that would have been nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it was. I was sweating
Holy
balls.
shit.
Old sweaty pits. Sweaty pits. But yeah, after that. And then we got to the hostel and we're partying up. San Juan del Sur, I think it was called, a little surf spot. It's cool as fuck. And I was talking to one of the local. No, I think I was talking to telling the story of this fellow a couple of months after that when I was down in South America in Colombia. And he's like, man, I lived and worked in Nicaragua at a hostel. He's like, it was either lifetime in jail or the death penalty for that kind of shit. They're real harsh on it.
What would you rather?
Oh, probably death penalty.
Yeah, fuck. Imagine spending life in one of them jails as a white cunt.
I know, it'd be brutal.
Fuck.
It'd be fucking brutal, man.
Holy shit.
It's fucking pretty crazy how you hear some fucked up stories. The old Chappelle Corby, I would have been the next fucking dumb Chappelle Corby over one nug of weed, but it wasn't that much, man. And it's just a chuff here and there, you know. Like, fuck.
Wonder if you could bribe them out of that.
Surely, but
you reckon? Like,
hey, boss, I'll fix you up, boss. Big money.
Yeah. Give them some fucking Aussie dollars.
Yeah, fuck, I would be, but I'd be offering up anything.
Yeah, give them your
Yeah, fucking oath. Nah, yeah.
Shit, eh?
Another shit talk, but yeah. Thanks for putting up with these cook chats.
Yeah, something different. Hope you enjoyed them yarns. Like I said at the start, I fucking don't have any of them experience, so that was actually cool as for me to.
Well, that's
for
what
me to hear and listen to. So
floated the idea out there, and then Hoops was like, "Yeah, I've not really been in there." I'm like, "Fuck, this is going to be me just chewing cunts' ears off."
No, that was fucking really interesting, especially that ayahuasca story and stuff. But
look it up.
Yeah, if anyone has any fucking mad stories,
send
them through, and we can read through them,
spin them.
But yeah, thanks again for listening. We'll see you soon.
Catch you on the next one.